Game in this best of 3, tied up now 1-1. We have in the top left corner of the map the teal Archon. It's going to be the mixture of Jona and uThermal.
So in the top right, as the red Archon, it's Bioice and Intense.
Okay, so the Archon mode show matches have gone on quite a bit longer than I thought they were going to, but that's okay, despite the battle errors earlier, hiccups aside. We still have a lot of cool stuff coming up today for our celebration stream, and one of the big things I really want to get into are some of these HOTS show matches. There's going to be a couple Legacy of the Void 1-on-1s, not Archon modes as well, but for the reason we want to throw some HOTS matches, and a lot of you are like, oh my god, HOTS is so boring. The entire season of WCS is still going to be on Heart of the Swarm. Players are training up. We got the WCS qualifiers coming up in less than a couple days' time, and what we want to really show off are some of the new maps. So we're asking players to play some of them out, and hopefully you guys get a good look at what's coming. You know, Cactus Valley amongst others. Those are going to be live.
Yay! And the Swarm host change.
Yeah, and the Swarm host. That's going to be the most interesting one, I think. Seeing how players use the new Swarm hosts.
Yeah, I have a terrible feeling that either people, well, maybe two people will use it and be terrible with it. Maybe someone's good with it. I don't know. But most people just won't use it.
I think that there's some folks out there that are like, we look at games played with folks like Targa, especially recently versus Hearthstone, right? Even he wasn't using Swarm hosts in their conventional method, and I kind of feel like the way he was using them in that match, despite the fact they are still in their old version, really translates well to the way you would use them in the new way, right? Like just the mobile spread of them, having lots of them all over the map. I don't know, but we'll talk about that more when we get to it, because this game has got 2 Reapers coming out for the opener here.
Yeah, so do have to hold off on that, as this is kind of it's a definitely different. I mean, we did have Teal Archon go for the 1 base maneuvers throughout the series, right, with the 1 base drops, but 1 base 2 racks is completely different. You know, this can actually be borderline cheesy depending on what your opponent's build was. So opening with your own Reaper sometimes is the worst thing you could do. Sometimes it's actually really helpful. That could have bought in time if Teal Archon had followed it. But did they put a reactor on the back side of this? They did. So 2 Marines versus 3 Reapers, though. The Reapers still win.
Yeah, it's going to be a struggle for Team Red Archon to really make sure this doesn't get out of hand. In fact, picks up the SUV building the factory. This is really big because, of course, you get the Hellions out, this becomes a lot more manageable, but SUV is getting pulled into the mix. Marines have a lot of damage. They sit in the fire of the Marines. 2 Marines and some SUVs can certainly deal with these 2 Reapers. Yeah. As we all know, they have to snowball very quickly to get ahead.
So there was that Reaper, you know, that if it had just attacked, you know, on its own, completely useless, but really helped out there, and the Marines popping out at the exact correct time. They might be able to get these Reapers. Oh, no.
I don't know if he'll be able to finish off the Reapers, but he should be able to at least start getting Hellions out. Oh my god, can you imagine if the Reapers ducked in right now and just sat underneath the factory trying to land? Not going to happen.
Oh, this actually did not work out so well. They went up to 5 Reapers. I think they thought it was going to work out when the first 3 seemed to be doing a lot of damage. It really didn't, but it's not necessarily a waste. Like I said, it's not really a cheese in that, like, if you don't do damage, you're behind. They have their own command center almost done, although it is in the main.
Well, I mean, the worker count not exactly destroyed by this, and you're right, with the CCs coming up, it's not really too bad for Teal. But it does get us suck that they wasted this investment. That's a lot of gas to go into the Reapers, and gas is more valuable than ever. I don't think anyone's going to argue saying, like, wasting 50 gas in the early game is that big of a deal, but realistically speaking, if you end up getting stuck on 2 bases 10 minutes from now, you're going to really wish you hadn't built those extra 3 Reapers.
Yeah. Well, we have Marauder Slow coming out for the first upgrade of Teal Archon. That's kind of weird. I mean, additionally, we just have, you know, another barracks on the way and a factory, as opposed to going straight up to a factory and straight up to a starport in case Red Archon had gotten to a Banshee. No, I guess they're banking on Red Archon, or, you know, with their scouting that they did by attacking, that they won't have to deal with a Banshee soon, right? By the time they have the engineering bay up and the turrets up, then the Banshee will attack and they'll be fine.
Kind of interesting seeing them select the racks, by the way. I wasn't too sure if that would show up, because you know, everyone's clicking on the buildings. There's like 2 or 3 of them all going at once. But anyways, Bio versus Blue Flame. What do you make of this?
Yeah.
It's Jona and Intense, who have
gone for mech.
They went mech early, right? But it's like the role reversal now. Team Red Archon, Bioice, and oh no, you're right. I got the teams mixed up.
Yeah.
Stupid colors. Never mind. I take all that back.
Okay.
Because actually isn't that.
So, then it is just actually akin to every other game that we've seen from these guys. Mech versus Bio, we got Hellion drops. Looks like they didn't do too much, but still down 10 SCVs is already a problem for Teal Archon.
Reaper's doing surprisingly well to help clean up those Hellions too, but you're right, it's down some workers. Nothing too crazy just yet, but it's not because the Hellions killed a lot, it's just they didn't have a lot from that later CC. So every SCV lost this thing a little bit more, etc., etc., but that blue flame, once it kicks in, makes it a lot easier to fry up those SCVs.
I wonder what they... You know, Teal Archon it looks like they've been preparing for this for a very long time. You know, they scan now. I guess they're checking to see if it's maybe a Banshee or two was added in. Because they knew about the 2 factories early on. So I guess that's why they got the early Marauders slow, so they could deal with Hellions with or without Blue Flame a little bit better. And they did start Marauder production so early that they already have up to 4 or 5.
Yeah.
That's quite nice. Oh, 6, actually.
I wonder if this is them
really
just
nice.
reading into it, though, saying, like, look, these noobs went mech twice, they'll do it a 3rd time for surezies.
Well, that certainly probably helped, but apparently the Reaper got a scout on 2 factories. So.
No, I didn't actually realize that actually gone that deep.
Yeah, before the scan. So they did really. I don't know how they got back in there, but maybe they sacrificed 1 Reaper. I think they had 4.
Well, double drops coming towards the main. There are blue flame Hellbats, and again, I'll address the fact that they won't look like they have blue flame. It's just a graphical bug with the beta right now, but make no mistake, these Hellbats hit hard against anything lights.
That's really nice, though, that pull worked out in Teal's favor, you know? They didn't all pull into one Hellbat drop or the other.
Yeah, they clean up the medevacs too, and the Marauders with those concussive shells. Great job of slowing these down. Now, again, for those who might be newer to Legacy of the Void or haven't been keeping up with the content, Marauders did take a bit of a nerf. Nothing too drastic in this matchup. Definitely FX versus Zerg comes to mind immediately, but their attack wasn't exactly reduced in damage by anything crazy. However, the attack was split into 2 attacks, so armor is way better against them now. And pretty much everything mech comes built with a little bit of armor, so that bonus damage isn't as crazy. And if nothing else, the biggest thing is that it's going to hurt them fighting the light units like the Hellbats.
Well, we do have double drops headed up. Now the Zelnaga is taken, so this is a little awkward. Okay, then. It's probably going to be Hellions waiting to go, and you don't want to drop on a Hellions and Vikings. It looks like the economy has evened up. We do have Teal Archon on the way to the 3rd, shortly behind that of Red Archons, but it is Iron Fortress, you know, and I guess we got to address that, where the 3rd is a little bit far away, so it is going to give a lot of opportunities for Teal Archon to deal multi-pronged harass. But the last 2 games, they've been trying to go fast into air, you know, and if they do that again, they're going to be passive again, and that was one of the problems of the last game.
Once again, the Hellbats drops come down, and they immediately melt those Marines. New reinforcements coming to stop this. SCVs get pulled away towards that bunker. Pretty safe place to run to. The Vikings did deter the drop of Teal Archon 2 while this went on, so simultaneously on their 7 map, kind of got shut down. No! Oh, what the hell? That went for the Marauders instead, thank God! SCVs struggling to stay alive!
Okay then, alright, we're good. But, you know, even if they're not killing a lot of SCVs, they seem to always take a chunk of the Marine Force with them before they die. Yeah. This time they even save the medevacs.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised we're not seeing any turrets come down too. I mean, just the one in the main. It's not like you need a huge ring of turrets or anything, but even just one turret to stop the medevac from sitting there so calmly. And I mean, this one would have died for sure.
Yeah. So Teal Archon already down 40 supplies at this game. You know, the economy wasn't there in the beginning. I mean, there were 10 SCVs and then 5 SCVs, but it all added up. The 3rd CC is also a little later. I mean, like the mech player is taking it faster, which is I don't think what you want to see. Or look like they're gonna race. Oh my God, they're racing. Go, Command Center, go!
Yeah, well, the slow Command Center's Red's gonna win.
Oh, okay. Well, this does mean that Red Archon's gonna be, you know, spread out. I mean, look at the tank spread they have to do to try and cover both the natural and the main. That's like this one shot at a time, you know? It's dangerous.
It's the Grand Canyon. You can walk around the backside too. There are destructible rocks or cooling towers. Make note of this if you guys plan to play, because a lot of people seem to never notice these on any of the maps, but you can sort of create a temporary wall off in the back. However, this drop is not going to get a lot done. This Vikings here ready to take those shots. Siege tank goes off too. Marine barely walks out of there alive. But looks like Teal Archon says, you know what, your army's split pretty thin. You got a lot defending that 3rd base. Maybe I'll go for the strike in the natural. And yes, there's going to be a sensor tower to see this coming, but repositioning is still going to be difficult. Again, they are playing mech, and nothing changes in the effect that, okay, yeah, you can pick up tanks, but do you have enough medevacs to pick up all the tanks? Repositioning everything is going to be very painful.
Plus, it's now a decision. Do you want to pick up Hellbats or pick up tanks? So, I don't know. I wouldn't say it was tougher because you now you have 2 options instead of 1, but it is a choice, and hopefully they don't miss micro each other. No, you pick up the tanks. No, you pick up the Hellbats.
The depot conundrum.
Yeah, exactly. Tearing things.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of potential for this to drag on further, and that wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing, but I just feel like when it comes to the macro game, the bio players tend to perform a little bit better, but, I mean, it is 1-1. I'm not going to count anybody out just yet.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of 1-1, I guess, Teal Archon only hitting that just now. Don't know if they put on a second engineering bay or what, but their upgrades kind of even right now, with +2 on the way for red. I mean, it's just, the ideal way to play against Mag is that you get your 3rd fast, you get your upgrades fast, you have a bigger army. Like, that's the standard way to play. Hellbat drops really mess that up in this game and just in general. Like the more direct confrontational Hellbat drops that go on the army has really changed it. Like, you have to decide, do you want to go your own Vikings to stop them from dropping Hellbats on you? Because it's a very powerful move.
Oh, I was not dancing, guys. I was just celebrating Zombie Grub's excellent joke.
It wasn't really a joke.
her excellent quip.
A segue, that was humorful.
Humorful. Wow, okay, you lose. Just stop.
It's eatable.
Alright, we got 3 starports coming out, and again, this could just go to the Banshee and Vikings like we saw earlier. It might go to battle cruisers. Either way, the air transition is usually something that is harder for mech players to deal with. Despite the fact they get the upgrades on their air just innately through their own upgrades, it's the fact that you just can't usually see this coming until it's too late, and by then, you don't have enough anti-air.
Yeah, it's scary for both players, though. Like, okay, Red Archon could not scout it.
Thanks, please.
But Teal Archon could also be pushed upon and then die because they're trying to transition.
Well, Teal Archon's actually got to worry. There's some blue flame Hellbats. Get those cleaned up. Sensor Tower is pretty important for Red Archon, but you know what? You can siege this location. We talked about this a little bit in the past, and really abuse how close this base is to that cliff. I mean, if you guys thought Deadwing was bad, this is way worse.
So I don't know what told Red Archon to make a bunch of Thors, but it's a good thing they did. Steel Archon is trying to get into their own air.
Yeah, they haven't actually scouted the starports, but it could also just be the sake of, this happened once earlier, you don't want it to happen again.
Yeah,
I still think... Oh, sorry, continue.
No, you continue.
I was going to say, I still think Cyclones are going to be better for this particular style of anti-air than Thors would be, but Thors do have that range, which is always going to be nice to have.
Yeah, and they're sturdy, and they do pack a surprising punch. But I was going to say that it might be around that time, similar to how a Terran player just puts a Ghost Academy around the time you'd expect Storm. The Terran bio player hasn't tried to break you on 3 bases, now 4. It's 13 minutes, which would be like 18 minutes in Heart of the Storm. I don't know. But you got to be suspicious of what they're doing behind this. Either a big doom drop's about to happen and you're screwed. You don't have a missile turret line, or they're transitioning into air.
Yeah, I mean, it is going to suck a little bit. Teal Archon's not going to have any upgrades for this air, but if you've got 11 Vikings over your opponent's Vikings, those upgrades don't really matter so much. I mentioned the bio is going to be able to help out too, but these sensor towers, man, this coverage is wonderful. This Venn diagram we have on the minimap. There's just nowhere Teal Archon can go without being scouted. The scan's going down relentlessly as well. What can uThermal and Jona really do to sneak around?
I don't know if Red Archon realizes they have a bunch of units in the main. Maybe that's intentional because they don't want to spare the money for a missile turret ring.
Perhaps. So the Fusion Core coming up actually leads to more than just battlecruisers now, guys. And one of the big things is it does allow the Banshees to get a speed increase. Now, the speed increase on the Banshees, to give you sort of a visual cue, it makes them about as fast as the Oracle now. I don't know if it's the exact same speed, but it's right around there. So this could go for battlecruisers, and that'd be great. It could go for Banshee upgrades, and it's still great. Either way, the battlecruisers... Oh, freeing up supply. I was like, he's killing his own units, man. Either way, the late game transition is going to be quite nice. We actually have Team Red Archon now starting to slap down their own starports in anticipation of this air swap. And lo and behold, it's going to actually be battlecruisers.
There's one difference in the battlecruiser in that the fusion core might, you definitely want Yamato cannon, but do you get that first or the energy first? Because
I think the behemoth reactor now is actually probably a little more worthwhile because it does allow you to get. Yeah, the teleport ability, right? The Legacy of the Void ability. A lot of people haven't gotten used to yet. For those who don't know, by the way, the teleport. Okay, it's like a recall, but it's really slow and all that. However, you cannot be targeted while transferring, teleporting, however you want to phrase it. So if you find yourself getting caught by 40 Vikings trying to harass your opponent's mineral line, boop, teleport out, safe and sound.
Now, this is where things get really interesting, like Teal Archon base has this army that has not been useful. He might continue to go ahead and kill more Marauders or more Marines, but whenever the air fight goes down, however it goes down, wants to be able to take care of this base.
I mean, we're not exactly in a situation where either player has 11 orbitals. Nobody's got a bank. Losing these SCVs still hurts.
It does. Now, they're going to run this army into, tank fire. It doesn't seem like the best usage, but this could just be intentional. They want to get rid of the army, and they...
if he pulls back the Marines and actually just kills all the Vikings, or as many Vikings as possible, it's going to give him a nice lead in the air transition. But oh my god, Marauders trying to fight against Hellbats with that attack change is so ridiculous.
The Hellbats are still going kind of strong on the other side of the map, too. It's just a blow for blow here, but Teal Archon did give away a lot more army, but maybe on purpose.
They gave away a lot more SCVs, too, though, is the problem. Down to 23 workers and no bank to work with. This is a little bit alarming.
And this is going to be an increasing... Oh my god, more SCVs. No!
No, that stack! Oh my god!
Okay. I mean, you saw these guys are transitioning on 4 bases, but there was not a 1,500 bank of both minerals and gas. Legacy of the Void isn't like that, and actually, they have lost so much, they don't even think their transition can do it.
The newcomers, the contenders, Bioice and Intense will take this series 2-1. But don't worry, guys, Jona and uThermal will walk away from this series with another $20 on top